The Apple Watch. Is it going to be worth the wait? Find out. Hello Internet, Andrew Huang here, bringing you another LPX vlog. Today's topic is going to go over the Apple Watch and if it's going to be worth the wait. Now, as many of you already know, back around August, September, when Apple had the press conference, they announced their first smartwatch after pretty much a year of not being in the market while other people were releasing it. They finally announced their watch. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when they finally announced it, I was actually very disappointed. I don't know about you, you may have a different opinion than I do, but I was very disappointed in the design, as well as the features that they said that they were going to be in it. During the entire press event, I was essentially in my mind going, alright, well, you're just copying, now you're the ones copying everybody else. Now, before I move on, before I start sounding like an Apple hater, I do not hate Apple. I don't actually hate on any particular electronics company in general. Now, I may look like a Samsung fanboy due to my channel and how I'm going to speak today, but I'm not. Please do not confuse that. I am more of a fan of technology in general. I look for things like the wow factor, the functionality, what can it do, what can it not do, the look of it, and a bunch of other things. Hence why my channel has the Gear S and the Gear VR so prominent on it, because they really wowed me. Now, during the Apple Watch's session, during the conference, I was very underwhelmed the entire time. A lot of the stuff that they listed off, I was like, well, it should have. It should have the heart tracker, it should have touch sensitivity, it should have all this other stuff. It should have a built-in keyboard and built-in Siri, obviously. It should have it because their competitors are doing it, so they better have that stuff. But when they stopped at that, I was very disappointed with them. Apple Pay is cool, but not everyone's going to adopt it. So you can't use it everywhere like you can do your Visa. So that kind of goes out the door for me. I mean, folks, I want to take a quick poll right now. Do you prefer this design or this design? Now, you can decide for yourself and have your own opinion on which style you like, but for me, this is my opinion, I like the designs that kind of push the limits, that go pretty much outside the box. That's why I wasn't a fan of the Moto 360 or the LG G Watch R, because all they did was follow the industry norm of a round metal watch. Samsung took it further by going with a curved, rounded, square display that works very well for me. And for me with Apple, they just went with like kind of like a middle ground, a very plain square design with a little rounded parts to it and most likely a metal finish. It didn't wow me. I'm pretty sure that the screen's gonna look nice and everything. The watch won't look too bad. But for me, Apple has always been about the design, and I thought they always beat the other phone companies in that aspect, that their design and the look and feel were always very premium. But this time, I just feel like they just kind of dropped the ball on it. Now, the reason why I'm speaking about this today, it's because I just found an article today that went over a recent interview with Tim Cook, and him stating that no smartwatches out today are life-changing, and that the Apple Watch is going to be the one-all solution, the most life-changing smartwatch out in the market to date. And I was just kind of taken back by that statement. Now, yes, in the same article, they did address the whole iPod revolution, how while MP3 players were already out and saturating the market, Apple came in with their iPod and just took over. I mean, and they did. They took over like gangbusters. And it's because they had the best design, they had the best functionality out of every single MP3 player out there. They won the market because of that, their design and the functionality out of it. But this time around, it's not the same game, Apple. It really isn't. Why do I say that? Because all the stuff that you listed for your Apple Watch already exists some way or another. And now they can go ahead and boldly state that they're being the first true smartwatch that brings everything together. But that's a false statement, because everyone else is already bringing everything together well ahead of them and have already tested their devices, and they're coming out with second, third, fourth generation versions of it. The one thing that angers me is no matter what I say here or what other people say, this watch is going to sell a ridiculous amount and record breaking. It's going to. Apple has always consistently, as soon as they announce a new phone or device, it sells out and it sells like crazy. It's because they created a culture that pretty much thrives Apple and they just want nothing but Apple. Now Apple did it right. They made a solid culture ever since they released the iPod, and ever since then their fan base has just continued to grow, and they've been known for their product quality and just pretty much everything else. I gotta admit, I used to be one of them. I used to be envious of people who had an Apple product, and when the 3GS finally came out and I got my hands on that and the iPhone 4 and the 4S, I was all about Apple. But then eventually I got tired of them, and I eventually just left them. Now, ever since I jumped ship, I've been kind of waiting for Apple to kind of step up their game to kind of bring me back. And even to this most recent announcement of their new products, the iPhone 6 and the Apple Watch, they've dropped the ball on me again. It's not that I hate them. No, it's because, well, number one, I don't like their infrastructure, but you can get me to use iTunes again if you have an awesome device to show off. I mean, if this watch was the coolest thing out there, it was the most powerful, the most functional, and the most beautiful, I would jump ship. But it's not. A lot of you might disagree, but in my opinion, it is not. I mean, I'll put it this way. Ever since Samsung released their Note line of phones, their phablet phones, I've been stuck on Samsung. It's because they were, unfortunately, in this aspect, they were the first adopters to do that. They brought the bigger screens, and not only did they bring the bigger screens, but they also were first to market with, well, not truly first to market, but mass market with the smartwatches. I mean, they're the ones, I mean, I know technically Pebble got out there first, but Samsung really brought it off to the masses. And unfortunately, Apple's kind of falling behind in that aspect. Yes, I know the iPhone 6 is a much better quality finish and all that stuff, and it's got a metal backing. But guys, honestly, 99% of you Apple users put a freaking case on it, so you don't even feel the metal thing on it. And the recent Note 4 feels absolutely drop dead gorgeous. I don't care if it's fake leather. I mean, it feels nice, and it's got more functionality than the iPhone 6. And a lot of the other tech reviewers out there kind of agree that the Note 4 is the king of phablets right now. The iPhone 6 is nice, but it's just an iPhone that's just with with a bigger screen. The Samsung Note 4, on the other hand, has learned from its past mistakes and pretty much made it more convenient, added so much functionality to it, and the thing's a freaking beast, guys. Like, now going back to the statement from Tim Cook saying that the Apple Watch will be the true lifestyle changer for smartwatches, I'm sorry, that's not even a true statement at all. For all you people who are watching right now who have a smartwatch right now, whether it's the very first Gear or the Pebble or even the Gear S, can you say that your life hasn't changed with these watches? I mean, can you really say that? And for those of you saying, well, it really hasn't, well, wait, put it this way. What if I took away your watch right now? How would you feel? If I just took it away right now, and now you no longer can get notifications on your wrist, and now you have to take out your phones again. Just that little thing right there. Is that not a lifestyle change? Agree or disagree, it's there. I mean, it's a fact. Now, all this stuff about your fitness trackers, texting, voice commands, and navigation on the watch, I'm sorry, but what's so life-changing that you're gonna bring? Oh, even if they announce in March that, oh, by the way, we added a talk and call function. Sorry, you're still second place to that. I don't care if you sell 10 million more than the current watches that are out right now. You're still late to the game. And I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure even if I wore the Apple Watch next to my Samsung Gear S, this thing will stand out more. Now, I don't want to completely hate on the Apple Watch, because the one thing that I'm kind of envious of is the fact that how customizable the Apple Watch is going to be. You can have, like a bazillion different types of bands for it, whether it can be for fitness, leisure, or even luxury use. They're going to offer you a good amount of customization for it. On top of that, you can get a gold one. So for those of you looking for that very premium feel, premium watch that no one can really have, you're going to have it now. But that stuff isn't important to me. It may be important to you. I know that that's important for a lot of people, hence why they stay with Apple, because in their mind, and to be honest, they do have the best feel. And not to say that the Samsung Gear S is cheap, but when you're going to compare apples to apples, at the end of the day, you get more out of this watch than the Apple Watch does. Now, that's that statement could change with the official announcement and the release of the Apple Watch, because they must have delayed the release of this thing for a reason. They must have been adding a couple more features that we have yet to discover. Now guys, I know I listed a lot of sour points, but I do believe that Apple's, gonna have a refined product when it comes out. It's not gonna be like the very first Samsung Gear when they released it. This thing is gonna be polished, it's gonna look good, it's gonna function very well. I think it's gonna do everything that people are gonna want it to do. My whole point of this video was just because that I just wanted to address the point that it's not innovative per se. It's if anything, it's just jumping on the current bandwagon of smart devices and wearables. I mean, you can go ahead and try to disagree with me in that aspect, but this is a different situation than the iPod situation was back then, because a lot of the stuff out right now is pretty refined. Well guys, that's enough rambling for me. My main purpose for this video was to pretty much start a conversation with you guys to see what you think of the upcoming Apple Watch. Do you think it's going to be better than Samsung's current Gear S, or do you think it's going to be like the king of the smartwatches when that guy comes out? Now, whether you're an Apple fan or not, I would still really love to hear your guys' opinion, as well as if you would like to see me do a review on the Apple Watch as well, like I did with the Gear S. Obviously better quality, better scripted, and more open going. But if you guys want to see my take on it, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll go ahead and try to start selling more stuff so I can kind of raise the money to afford not only the watch but also get an iPhone 6 so I can properly test it. Well guys, thanks for watching this episode. As always, please go ahead and leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down and let me know if you liked or disliked this video. And if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button to subscribe to my channel for more content, as well as to join the ever-growing community that we're creating here. Now, if I don't see you guys in the next video, thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate your time, but hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Have a good day, morning, evening, whatever time it is. See you guys.